Hello, everyone. So, welcome to our. This is the third session, right, Poonam? Yeah. So, this is the third session
Yes.
for us, and it's a part of financially forward masterclass series for working women. And we did an intro session on 1st of September, and then we did another session on the swiping of the cards, debit and credit cards, and also about credit score. And today's session is a little interesting. It's about how to decode your own salary slip. And my name is Smita, and I will be hosting this show with Poonam. And both of us are chartered accountant. I'm a coach as well, along with my CA profession. And Poonam is also an educator. She's also CA. Both of us studied CA together. And let me hand it over to Poonam so that she can start the session.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Guys, I am ladies, smart ladies. I'm Poonam, a chartered accountant, educator, and personal finance consultant. Today, we are going to decode the very important documents. Document, which is the proof of your income. Document, which is the proof of your employment. Document, which is the proof of your any kind of loan, that's on the basis of which you can take your loan. And the document which is required for your next salary hike. So that's the importance of the salary slip. And today we are going to decode it. We are like to discuss the every component of it, what it means and how it impacts. Um, that's the intro. Now, Smita, I practically find one challenge. Like one of my friend, she hired in a company, and her employer offered a CTC of 18 lakh, and she was very happy that she. Even at the early stage of her life, she got a salary of 18 lakh, but she was happy now she will get rupees 1.5 lakh per month. But is the CTC is equal to gross pay? Like many of us are confused because when companies issue offer letter, generally the CTC is mentioned, that is cost to company, and how it is different from the gross pay and net pay. Uh,
So yeah, Poonam, that's right. So people get confused. So when we get an offer letter, that there's a cost which is written CTC, which is a cost to the company. The cost to the company is when a company is ready to pay for hiring that individual to their company. So it will include all your fixed pay. It will also include a lot of retirement benefits. And so what happens in when you look at the gross salary is it will only show you the components of the salary when you look at gross. And net salary is when the deduction, retirals also is getting deducted. So if your friend is earning around 18 lakh rupees for per annum, so net salary what she takes home will not be 1 lakh whatever 1,50,000 as she is expecting, because there will be retirement benefits which will be deducted from it. There will be other things which are covered in the CTC. So she needs to understand what are the components in the cost to company and what will go into that gross salary and what is the net salary before tax, and after tax what she will get in the bank as well. So yeah.
oh,
So
okay, okay.
and also to add there, Poonam, we'll also share the tips at the end of the session that what she can also be careful about when she's looking at that CTC as well. There's another catch to it as well. Yeah, let's carry on with what you have to ask now.
Yes, besides, first we will decode the components of salary. And today, Smita very specially going to cover the two things. The one very important part which most of us ladies needed, that is the negotiation of salary, how to negotiate it, important aspects of it. We will touch upon it, not go in detail, and particularly some tips for the women who coming to join organization after a career break. So important things we are going to listen from Smita today. And now moving to the salary component. Salary, as Smita told, there is a difference between CTC, gross salary, and a net salary. So Smita, last time we discussed about credit card and debit card. And
Yeah.
So if I understood correctly, it is the net salary which is important for the lender, be it the credit card company or the loan lender, who sees our what in hand amount is there in our bank account, so they can have a reliable picture what we can pay out of that.
So yeah, that's right. So like for example, a person is if you are going to apply for any kind of loan, they want to know whether you have a steady income and you will not be defaulting it. So they will ask for a 6 months pay slip or your offer letter so they can understand what is happening. And they also want to check what kind of loans you already have, and you are not a defaulter as such. So probably that's the reason your net salary, the pay slip is always taken by them. And yeah, talks about the credibility and also tells them that how many people can default as well. So if you have 10 loans and you're taking another loan, they will not approve it because they know your capacity by looking at your payslip as well. Yeah.
Yes. So now let's uh, deep dive into the things that we are really looking into. That's the components of the salary slip. Is my screen visible, Smita?
Yeah, yeah, it's visible. Yeah. But yeah, can you
Right.
go a little up so that they can we can all see what's there? So yeah, generally a payslip would have a company name, your all the details. Even it will have your PF UN number, which is for your PF. More information there. So yeah, so you can go to
Uh,
the below section, below table as well.
and the salary here are generally the two parts. The salary slip might look different in different organization depending upon the format they choose, but the component remains same in the salary slip. That is, the one is the amount which is your basics and other allowances. The total of this section is the gross salary, and because there are certain deductions as employer has to be made because of some statute or the law, and these deductions are shown on the right hand side. And after deducting the amount, the taxes or the other amount, that is deductions, we get the net salary. So here is the gross salary, and after making this deduction we get the net salary. Now let's discuss the every part of it. Basic salary is depending upon the organization, sector, and the company, it varies. Generally, it is 35 to 50% of your basic salary is the fixed component, and it is generally 35 to 50%, and generally we consider it as 40%. So 40% of your basic is fixed, and rest is based on flexible benefit plans depending upon the organizations. Like some organizations, while hiring the employees, from their perspective, employees, they give the choice whether they want to, what portion of the flexible plans they want to consider as rent, conveyance allowance, transport allowance, special children education allowance, special allowance, or the other allowance, whereas some other companies do not, and they have the fixed components like certain percentages, like the 40% is basics, and then 40% of the basic is your HRA, certain percentage of the conveyance allowance, and rest is special allowance. So this is generally the structure. Your base salary is very, very important for many reasons, because base salary, on the basis of base salary, certain reduction is made. As you already aware, that PF is the amount that employer deducts from your salary. From your salary, what is your salary, to deposit it to a certain account for your retirement benefits. You get this in the form of retirement benefits when you leave the company, or when you retire from the company, or other certain conditions are met, you then this PF amount you can withdraw, but there is a monthly deduction of that, and that percentage is the 12% of your basic salary. Say your basic salary is rupees 1 lakh, then 12,000 per month is deducted from your gross salary, and it will be deposited to a for a retirement benefit account. So same percentage is deposited by your employer as well. There is one thing which is voluntary provident fund. Voluntary provident fund means if you think that this amount, because I want to save higher amount for my retirement, or I want more amount at the latest stage of my life, and I want to contribute more towards my retirement, then voluntarily you can contribute more. And you can say your employer that instead of 12%, deduct say 24% or 15% or 17%, whatever you want, then your employer will deduct a higher amount of that. But here is a catch. Catch is if the amount exceeds your contribution, employee's contribution exceeds rupees 2,50,000, then the amount which is higher than 2,50,000 and interest on income earned on that will be subject to tax.
Yes.
Next is professional.
Poonam, I want to add here. So only the employee's contribution can be changed. Employer will always continue to pay whatever they were paying earlier. So normally people get confused that if we are volunteering PF from our end, will the percentage of employer also gets it? It doesn't get changed. It is all same. It's your contribution which is getting added to your retirement.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Smita, for adding this. That the employer contribution will be 12% only. Your contribution can be 12% or higher as you want. And now the next deduction is that they monthly deduct some amount as a professional tax. Professional tax is not applicable to all states in India, depending upon the state and its requirement, because it is required by the statute. They deduct certain amount from your salary, that is professional tax. Like in Maharashtra, Mumbai, it's there, but there is a cap on that. That is 2,500. And of course, the income tax. Income tax, whatever you are earning, you have to pay tax. So the if your amount, your salary, gross salary is exceeds certain limit, depending upon the regime that Smita will discuss in a while, and depending upon the regime, if the amount exceeds certain limit, then your employer deduct tax on that, and after making all the deductions here, you will get the net amount in your hand. That is your net salary. Smita, anything like older tax regime or certain points for better understanding, would you like to add?
Yeah, so what happens is basically you talked about salary, like 40% will become your basic and remaining is 60% your flexi benefit plan. But the catch here is that people can opt for the old regime or can opt for new regime. If they're using, if they're opting for new regime, there is not no much benefit of opting for different options like conveyance allowance, HRA, breaking those flexi benefits according to you, according to whatever they want. There's no tax benefit there because in new tax regime the deduction is only standard deduction. And only the catch there is that whatever salary you earn more, if your income is more than 7 lakh plus the standard deduction, then you don't have to pay any tax in the new regime. Otherwise, if it is above that 7 lakh minimum plus the deduction, then you will have to pay the tax. So, but it is not the case in the old regime. Old regime, you have a lot of options. Like you can claim exemption of this PF also in ATCC, and also there is a benefit of NPS. There are a lot of exemptions you can claim in the old regime, and according to that you can plan your flexi basket. So it depends. Whenever a person joins an organization, get a clarity of what is the flexi benefit available to them, and also look at a calculator which is available in your most of the companies have this payroll has this calculators where you can put them out and check which regime is better for you. Accordingly you can go back and look at the basket as well. If you've taken a loan, what kind of loan you needed, if you're taking a VPA, what happens, all of those you can calculate and put it. So in case somebody doesn't want to do any other, what you call other investments, only PF investment, and they can only go and deposit in PF itself. So so the variable, the flexi part of your fixed component of your salary can be decided by you or by the company as per the terms which is written in the sheet. And it is also catch it. For example, I've opted for everything. Example, in the beginning of the year, if I'm joining a company, mostly in the financial year of April to March, by 15th, companies would ask you to opt for these benefits in your schedules, or they might ask when you are joining. So at that point, if you make a point that I want to put all this money, bucket it out in different components, but still at the by end of the year I'm not able to give the slips proof of it for the tax purposes, then what company will do is they will consider it as other allowances and give you as a supplementary allowance, but it will be taxed. So you wanted to get it as tax free or the benefit of tax, but if you don't give the reimbursements or the slips proof of it, then it becomes taxable also in your hand. So there are a lot. In case you're going for an old tax regime, you have to ensure that all the tax proofs have to be kept in handy whenever it's needed to be submitted. And there are interesting things to look at here, because your basics is like you said earlier, Poonam, that basics is very important, because basic salary is a component on the basis of which your PF gets determined, even your gratuity when you're leaving the company after 5 years. So that also gets determined on the basis of your basic only. And also a lot of increments also happen on the fixed components, so basic becomes really important.
Yes,
So
indeed.
yeah, so it is very important for that matter. So yeah, so look at your what the letter you get, the cost to the company. Please read it very carefully, and also have a word with your the HR or the policymakers of your company. What are the limits? Do you understand each component in detail? So for HRA also there are conditions that if you're on a rent, you're staying in a specific city, that kind of deduction is applicable. So it all depends upon which city you are and all the conditions of that company as well, what they're paying you as an HRA as well. So each one has their benefits as well. So for example, Sodexo meal coupons. You can also Sodexo. You can take Sodexo meal coupons, which you can buy your grocery and all. That can also be part of your flexi benefit plan as well. So we were, if you remember, Poona, we were talking about meal cards when were having a session earlier, the loaded meal cards. So meal cards are debit, like a debit card. You have money in it, and that also can be part of your flexi benefit as well.
Yes,
So it
the
is also
concept,
tax.
uh, like we will touch upon how this flexi benefits and the fixed components should be selected while negotiating the salary. That's the important part. Smita would like to add a small thing here. Like for this year, for the new tax regime, it's 7 lakh, and plus considering some basic deductions from the coming year, that is the financial year in which we are, that is financial year 25-26, the limit is 12 lakh without any deduction. So if we have an
For the
income
next year, yes.
for the current financial year.
Yeah. So even so when I'm talking about seven, so old regime, the amount is 5 lakh. But if your income is above 5 lakh, you have to pay tax on it.
Mhm.
But the thing is, when you look at this 5 lakh, it is the taxable income. After all the deduction, if your amount is above 5 lakh, then only you need to pay tax as per the old regime. The new regime, it was 7. So yeah, probably there's a change for the next assessment year. It will be a change. So there will be, so every year this limit gets changed. The standard deduction gets changed. So you have to go by that the slab which is available as per that particular assessment year. So to understand the assessment year, what happens is, like, we are in a financial year 2025 to 26, but the assessment year for income tax purposes is the next year, which is to 26 and 27. So that's why we always keep in a lot of CAs and a lot of income tax forms will talk about assessment year and financial year. Financial is the present year. Assessment year is the year in which that financial year's income gets assessed.
Very beautifully explained, Smita. Smita, I think we have almost majorly touched upon all the components of salary. Now, let's move to a section which is very important. And like it is believed or observed that the many ladies observe that many ladies are not so strong in negotiating, but men are relatively strong in negotiating their salary. So just provide some red flags and how to negotiate for the salary. It's for all, particularly for women, because women considered as women negotiate less than men. So, what points should be considered for negotiating the salary?
So when you look at CTC, look at your basics. How is basic salary being placed? The so
Yes.
you it is very important component, that basic salary, that yeah, how it is, what is the amount, what the percentage over there. It should be at least 35 to 50% is the range. At least it should be 40% of your of the fixed whatever amount is there. It should be 40%. Be careful of that component, and also look at the what is variable there. So if something is variable, the component of your CTC, what happens in your when you are especially when you're joining, people might give you joining bonus. But if that joining bonus is not part of your cost to the company, it's a one-time this thing, you're losing out the benefit of that amount being calculated as a base for your increment or your promotion when it's or any salary increments basically. And also there's a catch there that if you're getting a joining bonus or something, then you might it might happen that they may be having a the what you call clawback, that if you are leaving the company before so much of time, you might have to return the money as well. So there are these things have to be very carefully negotiated. And what is your variable pay? What if a company has a policy of giving bonuses, you need to check the bonus part as well. And there are these are few things which looks at the money part, what I'm saying. But when an employee joins, or there are other aspects also. When somebody is moving from another city to join a company, there are relocation benefits. So you have to understand everything while joining a company, that what are the things a employee will get when they're joining the company. What are the benefits? What are the insurance benefit? How is the parental insurance being taken care? So there are, what is the working condition there, the hybrid working conditions. All of this aspect has to be one at a time jotted down and taken care of basically. So you should not like your friend is happy that she's getting an 18 lakh package, but what does she understand the component? What is her component of variable? When she will get variable pay? Is it a quarterly payment? Is it an annual payment? Or it is subject to her performances? Or it's subject to the performance of the company? All of these terms are laid out in the offer letter. She needs to check all of those things as well.
Rightly said, Smita. Just to summarize this, the points while negotiating, one should consider is CTC, because
Yeah.
CTC is the base on which your PF is calculated, your gratuity is calculated. If your salary CTC is low, if your basic is low, it means PF employer will contribute less. If your basic is low, it means your gratuity at the time of your gratuity period will be low. Your retirement accumulated interest on it will be low. And when you negotiate with the other employer while switching your job, if your basic is low, then it will be very difficult to negotiate. So CTC, fixed or variable portion, segregation is very important. Absolutely. And secondly, generally we see that we generally see the offer letter without seeing what is the CTC gross and the net pay. We can ask for what is the CTC, which is in the offer letter. We can ask for a sample gross as well as the net pay, so that we get a clarity what is in hand we are going to get in future. And there are certain things like we can negotiate with the employer, like the review mechanism. That's our salary should be reviewed after 6 months or a year, and it all should be in writing so that there is no confusion later on to negotiate it better. To summarize this,
Poonam, I also want to add something here. So what happens is there are so when we are working, like we are working, and if you're working in an organization for a long time, so we do not go and check outside the market what is the salary being received at that particular level or with that skill set. It's good to go and check in. There are websites like Glassdoor and all, where you get to see what are the because it's a confidential information you can't discuss with your peers there, and it's very difficult to, you may not even know which bracket you're fitting. Probably if you go to Glassdoor and all, you can get to see that various companies, the same kind of experience, how are they offering. So you may be at a, so there are, if there's a bracket of like 1 to 100, you might be falling at 10. But because of your experience, you should be getting 70 or 80. How will you know that? So you should check that. So
very
you're
important point you bring to the table. Yes, that's the benchmarking of our salary, what
yeah.
others are getting through Glassdoor and Ambition Box app.
And Poonam, another thing I want to add is that there are, like, for especially being a woman, or not, I'm not being gender biased here, but still I'm trying to say here is, like, if you have to take a sabbatical, for example, I am
I
in
am
travel.
coming on that, asking your expertise on that. So, so my next question is that only that special points that a person, or particularly the woman who is coming after a break, maybe it's sabbatical, maternity leave, education leave, or some other kind of leave, if she's returning, generally what happens? a returnee person, a returnee woman generally offered less salary in the market. So, what are the tips or what suggestion would you give to the people or the such women so that they can negotiate better with their prospective employers?
So, Poonam, you've seen my career graph that I've worked 20 years in a corporate. I've taken two breaks. One break to get my house done, and second break I've done it to do a travel. So none of them are related to any illness, and none of them are related to taking care of elderly parents, or none of them are related to maternity leaves, right? Maternity. So all of these are a break which I've taken. So probably whenever I've come back to the industry after a break, I've always got a good salary or good work or whatever. It has been in my favor because I have not gone through what you call. Sometimes people think that they do not have a skill because we're coming after a break. So people want to hire us because they feel that they can get somebody at a lower cost. Company
Yes,
would,
yes,
so they will bargain in such a way that you will get a returnee discount. Like us, you can get somebody at a lower salary or something. But what I want to tell people is that in case you've taken a break and you want to go back to the industry again, make sure that you're upskilled so that when you are negotiating your skills, you don't have to negotiate on the break. You're negotiating on your skills. You should not
absolutely.
uh, you should not look at yourself being less than anybody other than anybody else who's already been working for a few more years. Maybe it's their circumstances are different, and also if they've taken a break for whatever reason, if they can tell a story what they've done in that break and how it has contributed or helped them in upskilling, it would be really great.
Absolutely, absolutely, Smita. And just a point I can add here that sometimes, for example, I've seen couple of people who were trying to join after maternity leave kind of things. Then they offered less salary. They went to one employer, another employer, and the situation is same. They are not offered the par salary of their competent employers. So in this case, it's good that one should negotiate. But in case they are not getting anything, I would advise they should at least negotiate on other terms, like in terms of flexibility, work from home, additional health benefits, additional breaks, or at least some training kind of things that person get so that at least get some advantage, because women are not that vocal while talking about their rights and particularly salary in India. So I would suggest that be vocal, be confident about your skill, upskill yourself, become competent, and then ask what the men are asking, what other are getting. Be asked that.
So yeah, Poonam, it's a two-way street. So what I will tell people who, if they were coming back from a break and want to get in, have an open conversation. Have a conversation that if you're coming from maternity leave, tell your circumstances at home and tell them that you are not the 8 hours or 9 hours you're in office. This is what you're going to do. Completing. It's not that you have some extra responsibility at home. You will not be contributing anything. So be very clear of so that it becomes easy for negotiation also, and not be guilty of the fact that you're coming after a break, but you should celebrate that whatever you've taken a break, whatever reason you've taken a break, you've done given 100% there as well, and that has added to you becoming a better version of yourself itself. So when you celebrate yourself, the confidence radiates in you, and the way you go back and sit in front of an interviewer, it will be really great. So the way in the first session we talked about the abundance mindset, that is how we should go there, that there is a lot of abundance opportunities for everybody. So if we get so whatever money we'll be earning to this job or opportunity which is coming, it's going to get circulated as well. So if we go with the abundance mindset that there is enough for everybody, so probably that will give you the confidence to get there. And also, I will tell you another thing is, Poonam, that like a lot of people are not aware that there are different bands also in your salary. Sometimes what happens, you might be a middle level at one organization, you might be a senior level at another organization, depending upon the bands and all. So the benefits which we're talking about, flexi benefits, also gets changed at different levels. So it's not being that it's being unfair to a certain person or unfair to another set of people. It's how the organization reward people at different levels, basically. So there could be a benefit of a company lease, housing lease, your maternity. All of these are different in different companies, and some people would prefer diversity candidates. Some people would prefer specific facilities. So ask everything. So be very open about asking questions. Do your research well. of the company where you want to join in. Get to understand your salary slip really well before you join, because once you join, it's very difficult to negotiate. Or once it's done, the deal is done, then it's gone from your hands basically.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Very important points that you covered up today. So before we move to conclusion, I would like to ask the questions from the audience they have.
So yeah, so let's ask. Shraddha is there, Pavitra, Hemlata, Ankita. So if you have questions, do let us know if regarding anything regarding your salary slips or anything you want to know, understand about whatever we've discussed so far.
Hi Poonam, hi Smita, Pavitra here.
Hello,
Uh,
Pavitra.
Hi. So on the first thing you mentioned on that basic salary, I wanted to ask, this 40% versus 50%, I have seen both, one in my organization and one in my brother's organization. I was not able to find out whether what is the pros and cons of both. So I understood that based on the basic, our PF will be based on as a calculation of the basic, right? So those mathematical angles I understand. But when we are negotiating with an employer, should we ask for 40% basic? Should we ask for 50%? Is it even negotiable, by the way? And if yes, then what should we, how should we go about?
So basically, the bracket is 35 to 50%. So basic can go up to 50% of your. For example, if it's 100 is your total cost seat amount. So 50% can go to basic. So the total amount might not change, but the component of basic can be increased. So that is a call you can have a discussion with HR also, that why my percentage is this. Can this percentage be increased without changing the total? If they agree to it, why not ask for it?
Yeah, but why should, so what's the benefit of having it 50% versus 35 or 40?
Okay,
That
so if, for example, if it is 30, for example, 100 is my total and 30 is my basics, 70 goes in my flexi benefit. 30 ka 12% kitna hota hai? It is around 36, right? So it will be only 36 will go into your PF. Otherwise, the 50 ka 12% is kitna hota hai? Utna jayega.
so the only impact is on PF. So
Yes,
if I
PF. Yes.
want cash
Yeah,
in hand, then I should go for a lower basic. If I want more, if I want less cash in hand and I want to focus more on retiral benefits, then I should opt for let's say a higher number in basic.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's how it is. And unless until you're so people even HR may not be able to know also that somebody wants to do it like that. You can ask, you can talk about it. And also there are places when you're joining somewhere, so where you might get an increment. For example, what is the right kind of increment? Is it 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%? You never know about it. So check your industry where from your glass door which range you fit in, accordingly ask for an increment. Don't go by just they're giving you 20% or 10%, you're happy with it. Go by with the research of what others are earning similar to your position and experience, and then negotiate that as well. So you never know, sometimes you might get a 60-70% hike also. It all depends, but you never know unless until you talk about it. You will not know. And in case you're joining from one company to another company and you're foregoing a bonus from your previous company and joining another company, please do ask for a joining bonus as well. If you don't ask, you will not get it. Or if you ask, you may not also get it. But it's better to ask. Sometimes when you ask, they will might consider that, because getting a joining bonus may not be adding to your CTC. It might be something different, because they will not want that to be part of the CTC, which is a one-time payment. But because you're foregoing your bonus from another company and coming here and up to another company, you should ask about it. So probably these are few tips which you keep in mind, because nobody tells you this. Only when you go through this, or
Yes.
experiences, bitter experiences, that you get to know, oh, I should have asked, I should have done this. So yeah.
What is a notice period buyout? Is that also something that can be, if nothing else works, or if your current company is not allowing you to leave without the, 90-day notice period, which is quite a lot, but the
Yeah.
other organization wants, lesser time. So this is also a good negotiation point, right? Like we can ask for a notice period buyout. So I
Yeah, yeah.
want to, how does that work?
So the company where you're joining, if they're okay to buy out your notice period, then it is good. Then you can go, you can leave it. It all depends upon what are the discussion points you have with the HR. You can tell them that this is my 90-day notice period and I cannot leave. And if I leave, I'm losing out on this much of amount. And if the both parties agree, your previous company also agrees that they are able to release you earlier, but they will cut that amount from you, then that can be paid by another company, then it's fine, fair enough. So
So how does that work? Like that new company, they pay us and then we pay it back to our organization. Obviously, both the companies will not talk to each other. So it's like the new company will pay us, or how does that work?
So sometimes, so mostly it is you only. It will come to you only. That will because it is employee only will get it, right? The person will get it basically.
So it's about the number of days that we can negotiate. So
Yeah,
it's
no,
on days.
yeah. You can negotiate. You can also another point I want to add is about leaves also. So if you have leaves also when you're leaving, you can adjust that as well. You can leave early as well.
Okay. And point two that you mentioned about how we can evaluate our salaries across the industry. So
Hmm.
this is something that I've done, gone across some research reports, etc. And in that, there are two issues that I've found. One, the way they have mentioned their roles and the way our roles are, sometimes there are like cross sections. It's not only so simple as engineer at a manufacturing company. It is not always that linear, right? So
Hmm.
when we go and say, "Oh, I'm working in a technology company and I'm a manager," so I should look in the section of manager at a technology company. But when we take that to the HR, it is more like, no, no, but you are working in an outsourcing department in a technology company, so you have to look at outsourcing. Or they say you are looking at HR outsourcing, so actually you should look at HR outsourcing salaries, which are way lower compared to anything else. So then whatever number I had in mind, that goes for a toss when we are talking. So every company that we speak to, they all have different ways of looking at it.
Yeah, agree to that. So yeah, that is there. But sometimes what happens is we should know at least whether we are paid at par or not. That at least clarity you will get it there.
Okay. So, but how do we go beyond that? So, if we are, let's say, paid at par, but or paid a little less than par, and while we are going into a new company, we have to negotiate that bit, right? And so the range that I'm like, it's in their range, in their advertised range. And I'm also asking in that because it is suiting the market also, according to my study. But
Yeah.
then you will say that no, our limit is a maximum of 20% on your current salary, which is not falling in their range. So then what other components can you negotiate for?
So what happens in a company is that if I'm hiring for if I'm hiring for my team, I need to look at my budget as well, and also have to look at when I'm hiring somebody into my team. If I have 10 people in my team, and if the person whom I'm hiring their salary is way above, then I'll not be able to match it with my people in my team as well. So what happens so when I'm talking from a hiring manager perspective as well. So in case I have a person whom I know their salary is below, I don't want the competition to come here. So and when somebody is being hired from outside and somebody who's getting is been in the industry or in the team for a long time, their salary fluctuation may be different. So I don't want the parity to come in. So because of that, also people would say, this is my budget, I can't go beyond it. So they will try to stretch a little bit, but that stretching is where that is a negotiation part. If you fall rightly in the negotiation part and the stretching part, you will get what you wanted, and it's a win-win situation for both. But if you do not ask and agree to what they're saying, you might lose it also. So that's why we say ki when you talk it out. If you are able to get that, at least you will feel that you've at least made a point of it. And what happens next is depending upon the situation. That's what I can add here.
Okay. No, the one point that got missed is I'm saying it's part of their advertised range.
Correct. So, but it might be advertised outside like that, but they will have to look at lot while hiring. They need to look at lot of other things as well. So because when they hire, they also have to look at your career pathing as well. Na? So these are the questions you should also. What is my career path? If you are hiring me at this level, when am I going to get next level? What is kind of increments I would get? What kind of opportunities I'm getting? A lot of these discussions when you have initially, they will see that you're invested in the company for a long term. So then they will start thinking whether should I invest so much in the person who's coming or not.
Okay.
So it all you should be able to do your research well of the place where you're going, so that they feel that you're going to add value to them, and they will get value by hiring you. So once that happens, they will be okay to stretch a little bit, and you will also you'll be also okay to come at the level which they want you to come. So it's an art basically. We get there by making mistakes and learning from our experiences, basically talking to other people around us.
Yes, I also made such kind of mistakes in the past, many mistakes, and learned from that. So, any other question before we close the session?
So yeah, I spoke about leaves as well. Leaves are very important. So people, we normally work really hard and we do not utilize leaves. So probably some companies encourage you to take leaves, so by telling you that you can't carry forward the leaves. So better in those companies, do take your leaves and don't exhaust your leaves, and enjoy that break, which is a paid break which you should enjoy. But there are companies who will give you what you call your carry forward leaves, where you can encash it also. So be very smart enough to look at that also, in case whatever you need to you want, as if for example 10 is allowed as encashment, at least minimum whatever is given for encashment, utilize that as well. So make a balance of it. Sometimes it's not apparent, but talk to people, to talk to HR before joining, what are the leaves policies as well. So there are leave for maternity, leave for elderly care, leave for any unforeseen events which happens in your family, leave for studies. And Poonam, another thing you can tell your friend is that if she's looking for higher studies, is there any opportunity for higher studies provided by those companies and all? Because there are a lot of companies who provide this facility of studying, going ahead and studying extra as well, like doing an MBA or some post graduation. Or if it's a bank, they might give you do CFAs as well. Look at sabbatical policies as well. If you're working for 2 years, can they go and take a break and come back, so that it doesn't you do not lose the continuity of your career. It may be a break, but the continuity of being in an organization will still continue. So there are a lot
Yes,
of things which your friend you were telling me, asking me. These are the things which you can look at. It's not normally the only money part, but also what else comes along with it. Because right now, a lot of companies can give you good salary and all, but the thing is, what perks come with it? How much time? How much you are getting value from there, and what value you are also giving also matters.
absolutely, absolutely. Sure, Smita. Sure,
I do have one more question.
Yeah, Pavitra.
sure.
Are there any out of CTC components which show up in a salary slip? So things one I can think is of the mobile reimbursement out of CTC. So like that, are there any
So
that
sometimes this rewards comes in. So rewards also will be part. So for example, you've got a reward for anything for performances and all, which is not your bonus, not your CTC, nothing. But because of your performance, you've got quarterly rewards and all. So that also comes as extra.
and all of these get taxed separately when
Yeah,
they show up in before they show up in our payslip, right? Okay.
yeah, no, they will come as a gross salary component, and while calculating the income tax for that particular month, it will be deducted from there.
Okay.
That also happens. So anything. So,
Yeah,
but
shift.
sometimes you get gift vouchers and all. That may not get like a gift voucher, a Diwali ka, with Diwali boxes or Christmas boxes. Some companies give you that. That may not get added there because it's something which is given additional. But yeah,
Of course.
I think shift allowance is one more.
shift allowance is there, but it would be part of a flexi benefit. That flexi benefit also sometimes it is included there.
Okay. I think in our organization it's not part of flexi, but I think given based on department or role or
So normally when you join an organization, talk to the HR before joining, but after joining also get an understanding from the induction definitely must be happening. Get the understanding of the components or write queries to your policy makers of that where, so that you get understanding of what the components are, and then you can plan accordingly.
okay.
And also you can take, there are tax calculators also available. So you can put your amount there and calculate both regimes and what's beneficial for you. So I think, if, are we having any more questions here, Shraddha, Hemlata, and Ankita, or is it a good time to wrap up then?
They're silent saying yes. So let's wrap it up today's session and
Yeah.
hope next time you open your salary slip, you feel more confident and more aware about your salary. With this, we are concluding. Our next session will be on busy budgeting, how we can budget in spite of being so busy. With this, we are concluding. Over to Smita.
Yeah, this next session is on Friday. So that's the third session of this particular module. So probably we'll be talking about how you can budget, basically. I know you guys have busy schedules, but budgeting is very important. So probably we'll cover that topic, and hope you enjoyed these sessions. And if you have questions, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn or the HerKey platform. The IDs are all there, so you can reach out to us. And it was good to catch up with you guys on this interesting topic of decoding the salary slip. Now, at least you will know how to negotiate and at least talk about it. And when you see this top confidence, basically.